Oh, you also have the Tzom Gedalia, Fast of Gedalia, right around
true.
Rosh Hashanah, because you eat a lot on Rosh Hashanah, and so you should fast the day after.
Or you're really sad that Gedalia got killed.
Yeah.
What is Purim and why is it celebrated, Rabbi?
Purim is a holiday in which God does not appear, and the commandedness that we have is to tell the story and enjoy food and drink and give gifts of food to one another and give to the poor. It's a way of saying, this is just what a good person does in the world, and you know what? Like, let's enjoy life for a day. Also, we celebrate it because it's like a day on the calendar that traditionally people get like wasted.
Sometimes the world feels really upside down and backward.
Yes.
And sometimes the answer to that is to fix it. And sometimes the answer to that is
to drink.
Sorry,
that's not.
Why is Purim called the Feast of Lots?
I know this one. It's called the Feast of Lots because Pur in, I don't know if it's Persian or Akkadian or Aramaic or Hebrew, but means lottery. And so Haman, boo, cast the genocidal lot, like cast the die. On what day will we destroy all the Jews? He cast the Pur, and then it was decided it would be on the, 12th or 13th day of Adar. Whatever, someday in Adar, but we're celebrating today because of Nahafochu. It was all turned on its head.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. What is Purim?
God.
Meshulash.
Oh, shit.
Well, it's a pu'al form. I know
right, of the word shalot.
Yeah, I think so.
So it's something to do with 3.
Yeah, it has been tripled.
Is this the one about like if you live in a walled city, then you celebrate it on a different day, and if you live in an unwalled city, it's like a different.
Oh, yes, it is because I got it. It's because you have the ability to celebrate Purim basically 3 times. Which is, I know one is if you go from a unwalled city to a walled city, right? You can actually extend your Purim. And then I think also when it is attached to a Shabbat, you basically can have 3 whole days of like Chag, of like holiday in a row.
That's correct, Stephen. I'm glad you said that. I have nothing to add.
What is Purim miracle? What is Purim miracle?
Can I has cheeseburger?
Can I has miracle? The Purim miracle was, that's the kind of point though, is there's no miracle in Purim, right? Like the whole point of the story is that you don't have some like God coming from the side of the stage to intervene.
That's right.
Right? The miracle of Purim is the fact that like, people like Mordechai and Esther, like stood up for what they believed was right, with no certainty that things were going to be okay. And really the miraculous quality of the story is somehow things changed for the better, but that was like not guaranteed. And like so much about Purim is like recognizing that tomorrow is not guaranteed. So we have to really live in the moment today. Mm-hmm. So we drink. Why is Purim so special? I feel like for a lot of the reasons we just said.
We said a bunch of things already.
Yeah. They need to ask better questions on Google. Did Mordechai work for the king? Not really. He kind of has a moment of being honored by the king, but he really just spends a lot of time hanging around the gate of the palace.
At the beginning of the story, but I think toward the end of the story, he does actually assume a royal position. When the reverse massacre happens, I think he's designing and advising on what happens and to whom, and he's sending out letters with the king's seal.
Yeah, this is true.
I think that's working for the king.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Did Mordechai have a Hebrew name? So the thing about Mordechai is that it's a Hebrew name. Although that was interesting about the whole Marduk thing. Mm-hmm. Do you know what Mordechai means? Well, Chai means life. So the thing about rabbis in the modern age is that we also have access to Google, which is really helpful for when people ask us questions about Hebrew words. Did Mordechai return to Jerusalem?
Not that I know of from the story.
Not that I know of.
It says that he was among those exiled from Jerusalem at the beginning when it introduces him, but I don't think he returns to Jerusalem. I think he's very comfortable in Shushan.
Well, especially after he apparently works for the king. Did Mordechai Shapiro get divorced?
Who is that? Do you know?
I mean, I feel like I know a Mordechai Shapiro, but I don't know if that's because I know a Mordechai and I know a Shapiro.
Do you know that Jewish drinking game?
Mm-hmm, where you both say a first and a last name at the same time. You decide if you know the same person.
3, 2, 1.
Cohen.
Josh.
Josh Cohen.
Do you know a Josh Cohen?
Yeah, who doesn't know Josh Cohen?
Drink.
Your best guess, did Mordechai Shapiro get divorced?
I think so.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure.
And it's on the internet. If the internet is asking, it probably happened.
Okay. What does the bar mitzvah boy wear? A talis, a kippah,
Yeah. Sometimes a suit.
sometimes, but not always.
Not always.
Sometimes dress shoes, sometimes sneakers. Okay, what does the bar mitzvah boy read? Oh my God, these questions are hilarious.
They're amazing.
The Torah.
The Haftarah sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Their Devar Torah, which is their words about the Torah portion they're reading, often very wise and very thoughtful. I'm biased, but I think our 13-year-olds at Mishkan are actually quite wise and very thoughtful.
Yes.
They ask very provocative questions.
How much to give bar mitzvah boy? Well, traditionally, if one wants to give bar mitzvah boy a check, one gives bar mitzvah boy a check or dollars in a multiple of 18. So like 18, 36.
180, 360, 1800,
How much to give? Like, how else could you answer this question?
I mean, how much does the bar mitzvah boy give of themselves to the community?
That's the real question. All your attention, all your ruach and support and enthusiasm, and all your love. How long is a bat mitzvah service?
Well, that depends.
On whether Rabbi Stephen or Rabbi Lizzie is giving the sermon that day. Somebody recently remarked at a Mishkan bat mitzvah, I was amazed that the service ended at noon. In my synagogue, the services end at 1.
It's true. Yeah.
And I smiled and said, I want to tell everyone. I want to tell everyone what you just said. Okay. Is it rude to only go to bat mitzvah party?
Yeah. I think so. They worked hard to like do the thing itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for real. Yes, it is rude. I mean, it's not rude if you're sick or if you have some really good reason why you can't go.
But if you're sick, you shouldn't go to the party either.
What is a mitzvah? Give an example. Oh, what a fun question for rabbis.
So many of them.
What is a mitzvah? First of all, Rabbi Stephen, tell us what a mitzvah even is.
Oh, well, mitzvah means something that is commanded, and there is an entire list of them. You can find them in the Torah, and they're primarily divided into 2 categories. There's the ones that we do, right? So things that we do actively, and then there's the things that we avoid doing.
Could you give an example of both?
Yeah, so a mitzvah of doing is like giving tzedakah, giving charity, and a don't do mitzvah is to like not kill somebody. Do rabbis get paid? You know, I actually get asked this question a lot. I get asked a lot if I get paid and if it's a full-time job.
And you're like, how else do you think I afford this haircut?
Exactly. Do rabbis have to be married? No, rabbis don't have to be married. I think there's an idea that the rabbi kind of lives a model Jewish life, but I think there's a lot of different ways that that can look, and marriage could be part of that.
I was not married for the first 7 years of being a rabbi.
How do rabbis do circumcisions?
Like household scissors,
Yeah,
honestly.
really easy, actually.
Next question.
How do rabbis circumcise babies?
Oh my God.
Well, and often. We should let's take this seriously for a moment. Moalim, right? A moil circumcises babies. A moil can be a rabbi, but doesn't have to be a rabbi.
And
right?
in fact, sometimes is a doctor. And sometimes is neither, actually. And like their job is just that they're a moil.
Yeah, and so neither Rabbi Lizzie nor myself are moiling. We do not do that. We show up, we create a nice space for the family to celebrate the baby coming into our lives.
We officiate a ceremony.
Yeah, exactly.
The moil does the,
Yeah, create some space for the moil to do their job, and they do it well because they're trained in actually doing it. And then we sing some songs. How do rabbis perform circumcision? This is showing that we are a very like penis fixated society. I am sensing like a little bit of the patriarchy here in this like kind of phallic fixation. I have questions for you, Google users.
Yeah, totally.
How do rabbis remove the foreskin?
You know what, Rabbi Stephen, I think it's possible that it's not that society at large is phallically fixated. It's possible that the designers of these boards
are phallic. No, I believe it's actually Google. I believe, it's really like not to cast aspersions on our rabbinic tradition, but it's like the rabbis who wrote the Talmud are all men, and they talk a lot about like penises and like sex, but from a male perspective. Like there's like a little bit of like a school age boy kind of like fixation there.
Fair enough. I think Anna and Zach are the school age boys who have a fixation on penises. Do female rabbis, oh my God.
Representation.
All right. Do female rabbis exist?
No, you should tell the story.
When I was doing my third year in rabbinical school, me and a bunch of Reform movement rabbinical students all went to Russia to go lead seders for communities all over the former Soviet Union that didn't have anybody to lead seders, but did have Jews in them. Anyway, a kid in one of those places said to me, "Are there male rabbis? Are men allowed to become rabbis? Do female rabbis wear yarmulkes?" I'm not wearing one now, but yes. I tend to wear one when I'm leading services. That tends to be when I wear one.
Yeah, my kippah is kind of like a workwear thing. It's like I'm in rabbi mode now.
I know women women rabbis who wear it all the time in the same way that many men wear a kippah all the time. I think I'm too vain. I actually think that's why I don't do it. I think like yeah. All right, do male rabbits have nipples?
This could go in such inappropriate directions right now, but I'm going to say yes. Yes, I think mammals across the board have nipples.
Do male rabbits go into heat?
Well, have you ever been to Boys Town?
And scene.
Hello, Anna and Zach here to interrupt the video for just a moment.
You might have noticed that the last few questions we asked the rabbis were actually about rabbits. That's because when you Google rabbi, most or all of the results that come up are actually about rabbits.
But we're going to keep going because we want to learn more about rabbits. And the rabbis have so many years of advanced schooling and study, rabbits have to have come up at least once.
Let's find out together.
Why would a rabbit stop drinking water? Because it's hydrated, obviously. It hits its hydration goals
Oh my
for the
God.
day.
You and I have such different orientations toward the world. My response was going to be because it's depressed and doesn't want to live anymore.
Why would a rabbit pee on you? Well, because they drank too much water. Or because they're depressed, they don't want to live anymore.
They want you to throw them out the window.
Why would a rabbit run in circles?
See above.
Why would a rabbit just die? Well, if it's dehydrated, peeing often, and only given circles to run in, I think that's, yeah. I feel bad for rabbits. They're so scared all the time.
I think the person asking that question needs to ask themselves how they're keeping and taking care of that rabbit. Like if they are a rabbit owner and the rabbit just died, I'm sorry. Like
That's probably an indictment on the owner.
thank you. Okay.
What do you feel you learned from this?
Oh my God.
People really want to know about circumcision.
I was going to say people really want to know about rabbits.
We're not putting those topics together.